Good morning, friends. Hot Rod Typewriter Company, and today we are doing a polish video, a paint and polish. This is a step that I do very last on every machines that I painted myself, machines that I've gotten from online or bought outside. Any paint job that I come across, this is what I try to do to bring back the luster and the shine of a typewriter. This one is a custom painted cream SM4 that I've been working on. The paint is finally cured up, ready for wax and polish and quick wet sand. Now, this is the wet sand kit that I get. It's this 3M grit grain grano, 1000, 1500, 2000, 2500. I tend to use mostly the 2000 and the 2500 because you're not trying to cut through the clear coat. All you're trying to do is remove any of the surface irregular, the different patterns in the paint and scratches, surface scratches. You're not trying to cut through anything. You're just trying to resurface. You're just trying to polish out the top coat. So this is what I use, 3M, wet or dry. I use it wet because water is a lubrication, and it really smooths out the paint when you're sanding. After that step, what I will do is I will go to this clean finish polishing compound, turtle wax. Any kind of polishing compound that is safe for clear coats, and it says that it light to medium scratches and imperfections, it removes that. I'll use that on a buffing wheel with this little terry cloth buffing mat. And then after we do the polishing compound, we'll wipe it off with one towel, and then we'll move over to this quick wax or any kind of carnauba wax. This is contains pure carnauba wax. So anything this is an industrial bottle of stuff, but any of the turtle wax product, quick waxes or surface waxes, spray waxes, that stuff works fine. So we're just going to set you guys down here and we'll do a quick once over of what I normally do on these parts. Now I'm just going to focus on one at the moment. I'm going to do the ribbon cover with you guys, but normally I would do all of the steps in one. I would do all of the wet sanding, and then I would do all of the polishing compound, and then I would do all of the quick wax, the last and final step. But yeah, this is a different waxing buffing pad that I use with the last waxing, the carnauba wax, and it's more of like a softer thing, but we'll get into that. But I'll try to knock one thing out really quick to give you guys kind of an idea of how fast and how this process normally goes. Like I said, with the wet sanding, you're not trying to get any clear coat off. You're not trying to sand through anything. You're just trying to smooth out. You can start feeling it. I'm going to set you down and get started on the process here. Let's see where we can get you the best angle. You might have to see my ugly mug. That's all right, we'll put on a mask. Today will be a mask wear, like you're supposed to. So if you guys can see here, I've got this garden hose. We'll put this aside for now. Standard garden hose, and I'm just going to wet the part down, give it some lubrication. Take the sandpaper, get that nice and wet. You could soak it in a bucket, but I feel like just a basic wet down of it is fine. And then I just kind of go over the whole part lightly. I don't push, I don't use any force with my hands. I'm basically just letting the paper drag along it with my hands barely touching it. And I just do this, give it a good quick wipe down. You can go in other steps too. You can start at 2000 and work your way up to a 2500, or you can go even finer than that if you'd like. But what I found is just doing a 2500 grit once over is really good for this, and it works just fine. So once I feel like I've got pretty much all of the areas that I need to cover with the wet sandpaper, we'll go ahead and set that down. Take out Take out a towel. It's a rainy day today, so this is kind of in the wet. Not a ideal situation, but it is the situation. So now that the paint is sufficiently dulled up and not looking as good as it did before, because we just sanded a bunch of high and low spots into it and clear coat spots, so we'll take the polishing compound, give it a quick shaky. I'm wearing a ratty sweatshirt because sometimes this stuff splatters, and I'll just put like a, can you see that? Hopefully the camera's still rolling. Yeah, I'll just put a little bit on there, kind of work it in a little bit with my finger, wipe, make sure this is somewhat dry, and then I'll just dab this on different spots. And normally I would go around and I would dab all of these parts. So then we'll take this, and this step is this polishing compound, it is an abrasive, so you can go too much with this. You don't need to do it for a long amount of time because this stuff will have sandpaper like qualities too. Granted, it's like a 20,000 grit sandpaper, but it does sand off some of the imperfections, so you only need to really spend five minutes on this part or less. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll set that aside and I'll go ahead and I'll switch this buffing pad. Hold on, we'll check the camera while we're here, see if we're still going. Are we still going? Okay. And I'll switch to this other buffing pad that I'm using. Slide that on here. Like so. Because this final step, we're going to get rid of all the buffing compound because that abrasive, we don't need any more abrasion. So we're going to wipe off with one towel all this abrasive polishing compound, because like I said, we're done with the wet sand and that part. So we got one towel for that stuff. And now we're going to grab our quick wax, or the final step, the final wax, and we're going to do the same thing. Put a little of the product on the mat, kind of get it in there. Then we're going to dab, and get ready to polish this one out with the final wax. Okay. Now with this wax, you're supposed to let it dry until it gets a nice little haze to it. I don't know if it's going to dry with this weather how it is. So what I'll do is I'll just wipe it off right now, but get a separate rag, microfiber, terry cloth, whatever. And then we'll take all of this quick wax off. Just wipe it all down. All clear. And now you got this super shiny, clear coated part that's, you know, it has this nice glazed finish to it, and it feels good. It's not gonna, you know, drag on your hands. It's just very, very smooth part. So that's it, guys. That's the process. I can knock out a whole machine in 20 minutes if I'm really trying, but you can go deeper. You can go, if you want to do different steps with the wet sand to bring out all of the orange peel, but that's for another day. That was just a quick example, 10-minute video of how I do it. So let's see, we got 2 polishing cloths, a buffing sander. This thing I got at Harbor Freight for like $9. It's just a 6-inch compound palm polisher, literally $10. This stuff, the 3M series, you can start at the 1,000 and work your way up. So there's another $3. This stuff is $7. Cleaning, finishing, polishing compound. That's the first step of the liquid stuff. And then any kind of carnauba wax. This came from a automotive store, so that one's probably not, you're not going to find that off the shelf, but you get my point. A couple of these buffing things, these all came with the machine. And then just a little hard work, just a little get down in there and do it. So that's it, guys. Hot Rod Typewriter Company. I'm going to finish this up and we'll talk to you later. Good luck out there.